Good morning, everybody. Technical difficulties out of the way, and we have Luke back on screen. So sorry about that. That's our bad. So again, apologize for the delay. So week 45, we're excited. Lot to cover, a lot going on in the world of sports. Football is in full swing. It's preseason. It feels like baseball ended. It feels like the WNBA ended because all the focus on social media, our minds is on the king, which is football. So super excited about that. We're going to talk about a lot of that today. Two shout outs I want to give to a couple of special people. Connor, a former player of mine. I played for me in high school. It's basically him and Luke, two of the greatest players that ever played for me. Connor reached out to me for a reference for a job that he's looking to do. Connor, you have my highest reference for anything you need ever. I hope I won't mention the type of work you're going into, but if you should show this to anybody, you have them call me, write me, whatever it is. My highest recommendation for you. You're one of the finest gentlemen, honestly, that I've ever coached, and a warrior on the court, and probably the best defensive player that I've ever had. So absolutely. And Rika out in California, thinking about you and what you're going through. Went to grade school with Rika, and all the best to you. And thank you for all that you have done for me. I appreciate that. All right, moving on here. So everybody probably knows by now. If you don't, this is your time. On patreon.com/PB Sports, we have one platform that will contain all of our information. There is free access to it. You will have access. There's basically 35 to 40 things up there right now that are free. Luke, if you can put the phone on silent, that beep's coming through pretty loud.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
So for $5 a month, if you want to get something other than the free access, it's $5 a month, and you're plugged into a lot of things that we offer. I have part of that on the screen that was just added on this week. All right. And there's a lot more to it. When you go to patreon.com/PB Sports, you'll see all of it. But what we added in this week, 2 weekly college or NFL picks from PB Picks. And after last night, we're 2-0. We took the Lions over 33.5 last week over San Diego. And then yesterday over Atlanta by -3.5. One of the oddest endings you will ever see. The injury that took place, the ambulance on the field. They suspended the game, but they did a full clock run. And boy, I've been in the position. I didn't play anything on last night's game. That was just my advice, our advice to you guys. I remember betting on Mike Tyson when against Evander Holyfield when he bit his ear off, and the fight he was disqualified, and that was an actual bet. So it appears from all the sports books that last night, though it was a suspended game, it went beyond the 55-minute threshold that the NFL requires a game to be played through to be considered a contest. But there's going to be all sorts of controversy there. But nevertheless, 17-10, they covered the 3.5-point spread. So happy about that. Social media boost. We'll shout out your business, your athlete page, or your cause once a month via our story or platform post. This is an exciting one. Referral program access. And you can earn residual income and free membership by referring others. And so you'll get paid a commission when you refer somebody to the platform, they sign up, and then as they stay on long-term, you will receive a commission for the life of the time that they're on the platform. If they leave, it falls off. The longer they stay on, the more you get paid. So let's just say you have $1,000 worth of monthly memberships. That's basically $150 to you every single month. A lot you can do with that, especially in this day and age. After 5 referrals, you get upgraded access to a higher tier for a full month. Access to PB Sports Chat. That's everything inside. That's our followers. That's us. We will be regularly interacting, and you'll get a lot of extras. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. If you are in that chat form, you'll get a lot of extras from us. And then quarterly giveaways, an automatic drawing into our members only prize giveaway every 3 months. On the packages side, there's a whole bunch of packages here. There's monthly and then one time. I'll go through these real quick. $49 a month, $119 a month, $225 a month. You get more as you go up. And then ignore on the $6.99 and the $9.99. Next to it, it says month. Ignore that. It's not supposed to be there. It's a one-time charge. So for $6.99, you get the entire college football season. For $9.99, you get the entire pro season. Look at my history. There's a lot there. It's 2-0 on this season, but 17 in a row last year, 15 in a row last year, 3 huge parlays. And I'm known for predicting a lot of things, such as Shedeur Sanders being drafted in the 5th round, and a whole bunch, Jaden Daniels being the best quarterback of the 2024 draft. And there's a whole bunch. You can see it all up on Patreon, so I encourage you to do that. All right, moving on here. Last night, the social media apparatus is on fire because of what this guy did last night. I'm going to take the scrolling off of the screen here for a moment so that we can see everything. So, Luke, I'll get to you in here in a second. I'm going to let you take it over because you were a 2-time All-State player in high school and a state champion in football as a quarterback. So I'm going to turn this over to you from in a moment. And in our next segment will be a natural, you break down some film for us. But last night, Shedeur Sanders had his first opportunity. Let me just set this up for you. He had his first opportunity in a game-like situation against Carolina, and essentially they're 2s, 3s, and 4s. In fairness to Shedeur, he had his 2, 3s, and 4s. I had been saying all week on X, I said it a lot yesterday, you can't take anything out of this game, whether he did phenomenal and went 23 of 23 or he went 0 for 23. There are some indicators. There are some things you can look at. 2 touchdowns. Both were very nice passes. 14 to 23, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 106.8 quarterback rating. So everybody could pump the brakes. Let me explain this to you because I'm from Detroit. Kyle Allen will be lucky to make the Detroit Lions, and the only reason that he might make the Detroit Lions is because Hendon Hooker basically exited stage left last night and probably won't be on the Lions because they've given him his shots, and he's just not performing. He can't hold on to the ball. But look at Kyle Allen against Atlanta last night. 7 of 8 for 120 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 158.3, nearly perfection. So what? We're going to bench Jared Goff and we're going to make Kyle Allen the quarterback? How about Easton Stick, who played against the Lions in the same game? 15 to 18, 149 a touch, and 119 quarterback rating. Or how about Tyler Huntley, who replaced Shedeur? And by the way, that's another typical Browns move. At that point, just leave Shedeur in there. Just let him continue to get the reps. You're going to put Tyler Huntley, who they signed off the street. He's their 6th quarterback. He won't be on their roster. For what purpose did you put him in there? You protecting Shedeur now all of a sudden? 6 for 8, 51, a touch, 130. All right, how about this one? So Drake May for the Patriots is going to go to the bench because Ben Woolridge lit it up last night. 9 for 12, 132 a touch, and 138.2. So can we all just relax? He's a 5th-round draft pick, was 4th on the depth chart. He played preseason game number 1. Overall, he did pretty good. I'll give him some credit in his interview last night after the game. He was pretty humble about it, which is nice to see from him. That's a few times in a row now. Let's see if he can keep that up. That would be nice. His father can't keep it up. His father had to jump in last night on social. At last check, it had 1 million or 1.2 million views. He says, yeah, now what? So he cannot help himself. Just let the guy play and stay quiet and let his actions speak. Somebody said last night on X, how can you hate this or dislike this guy? He's such a humble guy. He's this, he's that, he's talented. Just let your performance speak and shut up. No one else really does this. And so that's why people have an issue. So Luke, from a quarterback's perspective, reps are important. It helps, this is new for him. It's his first time in the NFL. You're learning scheme, you're learning rhythm, you're learning guys around you. Even those are 2s or 3s or 4s, if he ends up being in the 1, most of those guys he's not going to play with, but it's a rhythm, right? It's a flow. He's hearing through his head, through his helmet, what the plays are. You get it in, timing, all of that. But what do you make of all of this that I have laid out on the screen here?
It's crazy that you did this because I was going to say, I planned on coming on here and just saying, I'm sick of talking about Shedeur. So I have screenshots on my phone right now of all 4 of those guys that you have listed. And I was going to say, look, like it's nobody hating on Shedeur and it's nobody preying on his downfall or wishing he does bad. I think it's more so people just wanting to, I guess, not celebrate mediocrity almost. Like you're ESPN, because when you look at this, all these numbers and what these other guys did, ESPN, NFL, Bleacher Report, everyone's posting. Shador put on a show with watch emojis and, oh, he shut up all the haters and everything. Like I thought he played okay, but where it just doesn't align with what's going on, and it's way blown out of proportion. Good for him for playing well, and like you said, I did really like what he said after the game. That was good. That was very good. He's getting some PR training, which is good. But yeah, I mean, these other guys also, he played 3 quarters. Like the other guys on that list, I don't know for sure, but I know most of them played 2 quarters.
Yeah.
So you're comparing. I mean, it's nothing impressive. I mean, he had a lot of pressure on him, but I don't take too much from it. I want to see Dylan Gabriel play. I want to see Kenny Pickett in a new uniform, fresh start, everything like that, before we give Shador, like, I'll say he played. I'm not going to sit here and say he shut everybody up. I'll say he played average. He played well for, a 5th round draft pick.
Yeah. So I put a poll out yesterday, and I put, select one of these 4. Do you think he'll play poorly, average, good, or excellent? And none were poor. 1 was excellent, and then all the others were in average or good. And so I would say that he's somewhere between average and good, but probably closer to average. The 2 touchdown passes are very nice. Everybody, oh, the darts. Yes. And I watched Chase Daniels breakdown, and he pointed out some good things. And he said his movement, to his right and where he places the ball, he did a couple of things. And then the ball he laid out, where it was a great catch by the receiver with one hand, that's the only place you can put it there. You're going to give your guy an opportunity to make that catch. Whereas if you throw it out of bounds, he doesn't have an opportunity. You throw it short, it's intercepted. That's the only place you can put it, but the receiver helped him out there. There's no question about it. So here's the real issue I have with it. And a couple of guys really stepped up and they shut them up. And I was glad to see this. Louis Riddick, who I used to have so much respect for. I thought Louis Riddick was one of the best analysts. And I don't know if it's ESPN has gotten a hold of him and they're telling him what to say, but he came out this week and said that Shador Sanders was being set up to fail. Robert Griffin, he's being set up to fail. And there are 2 people that stick out. There are many, but 2 particular names, both former pro quarterbacks, both basically backup quarterbacks, as Dan Orlovsky said, can we stop the narrative of we're setting him up to fail? He did a beautiful 1-minute clip. I encourage you all to go. I don't think anybody could say it better. Luke McCown. Josh McCown's son, right? Or no, brother. Former pro player steps up and said, this is not true. Brady Quinn was the other one. And Brady Quinn flat out said what Louis Riddick said is a blatant lie. If you're drafted in the 5th round, if you believe you're 4th on the depth chart, you're going to get the reps of what that is. Nothing has changed in the NFL, to my knowledge. Anything to your knowledge, Luke? Those guys typically don't get the reps in practice, right? Did the guy who played behind you who got the reps in high school and college?
Me and nobody else, really. They get scout team with the scout team.
Huh?
What's
yeah,
that?
The scout
Unless
team.
I was hurt, yeah.
Yeah, the scout team.
Well, another thing is, if you go through X, and I need to mute the app because I just scroll and get upset, but it's been so constant. He needs reps with the ones. Give him reps with the ones. The ones aren't in the game. He's getting reps with. You should be happy he's getting comfortable with the guys he's going to be playing with in the games when he's getting his opportunity. It's not like he's throwing to the ones. First of all, it's Cleveland too. Are your ones really even that? I mean, it's not that big of a drop off. But he's playing against the 2s in practice and playing with the 2s in practice and playing with the 2s in the game. Like, where is it unfair? I don't understand that.
Yeah. So what I think it is, Luke, I really do believe this. And I pull that off of the screen. Is he's been hyper sensationalized and hyper promoted by himself and by his father. And when you build that up, and then he was drafted where he was drafted, everybody called it hate. Everybody called it collusion, conspiracy, racial, this and that. And then you had people like Mel Kiper. He's my number one on the board. What are they doing here on live television? So everybody was programmed to think that he was A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And when somebody didn't agree with that, suddenly this is hater land, and I'm going to stick up for the guy, and you're just hating against him. So you're watching every move you can see of the guy to hope that he proves everybody wrong, and he has a colony of people, a group of people that are behind him in that regard that say, see, I told you, Skip Bayless. The race baiter, the clickbaiter and race baiter of all. He's on there last night. See, he should have been the first overall pick. Like, you're just talking shit. The first overall pick hasn't even played yet. And if Cam Newton, listen to me. If Cam Ward comes out tonight and shits the bed, don't make anything of it, because there's nothing to make of it. It doesn't matter. Now, everybody knows, and I'm going to show the clip here in a moment, Jackson Dart plays at 1:00 today. I had Jackson Dart rated as the number one quarterback in the draft, heads and shoulders above everybody. If Jackson Dart comes out today and goes 17-19, I'm not going to be pounding my chest, because it doesn't matter. Jason Whitlock, who I follow very closely, he threw out a name yesterday that really it hit home. He said Aaron Brooks. This might be a little bit before your time, Luke. He's been out of the league for a solid dozen years. He played for New Orleans. I believe he had a 500-yard game, if not a couple of 400s. He showed these flashes of brilliance, of mobility, rocket arm, all of these types of things, but you would get the other side, that none of it made sense. I don't even think he ever made a Pro Bowl, but he had all this hype machine behind him. Okay, this is before Drew Brees, obviously. So yeah, it's a while back. And it's more than 10, 12 years. But he made the analogy, Jason did, that Shedeur reminds him a lot. Strong arm, likes to move around, can show you some flashes, but that he sees Shedeur as a middling guy. And we'll see if that pans out or not. But the bottom line is, until it is full go, with all team, under the lights, full stadium, no disguising of coverages, we're going to give you what we got, and we're not going to disguise it until later in the season. If we might see you in the playoffs, or the second time around we're going to play you, we're going to show you something different. It's just different. The speed, the flow, everything. And you saw the blitz yesterday. I didn't see the game, I'll be honest with you. That's why I texted you. And I'm watching like the game cast on ESPN on my phone, and I see 4th and 1 incomplete. And I reached out to Luke and I said, tell me what you saw there. And he said he ran backwards. Right? Wasn't that the play where he?
It was poor protection. It could have been better protection, but it's 4th and 1. So there's no reason to be looking 30 yards down the field and running backwards. It's 4th and 1. Get a first down, keep moving. So it was poor protection, but the ball should be out. And that's watching with a critical eye, of course, because I'm forced to. But it wasn't a good play at all.
And how about the play where he scrambled 30 yards and he went backwards and he ended up getting a minus two yards, where he ran the whole field? Did you see that play live?
I did. And if you watch that, if I'm watching that, I'm just watching that, and I say, okay, wow, okay, he evaded well, he did some things well, okay, he's moving better than some people give him credit for. Good. And then you open up your phone during commercial, and it's like, Shedeur looks like Lamar. Like, oh my God, you can't even give the guy credit, because everyone takes it away and takes it to the moon. When he looked smooth, he looked healthy, he looked fluid and getting out of the pocket, but it's a loss of two.
You start running backwards 10, 15, 20 yards, it isn't going to work. And I'm watching the D lineman. I saw the clip, and I'm watching the D lineman. He's not even running on the proper angle. Like, you're not going to catch him. He takes the wrong angle, and Shador's able to get to the outside, and he's able to almost get back to the line of scrimmage. But it's just rule number 101 as a quarterback in the NFL. You don't run backwards. Even Lamar Jackson has learned, don't run backwards. And he's
it's a negative play.
Yes. It's a disaster waiting to happen. So I'm not going to like pick out the bad he did versus pick out the good he did and all this type of stuff. But the bottom line is most of this means nothing. You're looking for reps. You're looking for game-like conditioning, game-like movement. But let's just be honest. The movement in all of these games are not regular season game-like movement because the 2s and the 3s and the 4s, a lot of them won't even be there because they're not good enough. Some will go to practice squad. Some will go back to regular life, and they'll just miss their chance. But come week 1, you're not starting against 3s and 4s unless there's some sort of crazy injury at one spot or something like that. You're seeing the best that the team has, and they're schematically set to defeat you and to make you look silly. So and even if he came out, let's say he was the starter and played week 1 and he lit it up. Let's just say it. I don't know who they have week 1. But Bengals. Okay. So, and that's a defense you could probably do pretty well, although they got their pieces and Hendrickson and Stewart back in play. If he lights it up, it still doesn't mean anything. It's like, I use this analogy. It's literally like, and I don't know why people understand this, and maybe it's just because I look at things through a coach's lens. In the old days, before you were born, Luke, musical artists used to make singles on cassettes. All right. And it was like, I made a great single. Vanilla Ice. You probably heard of him, right? He made a great single. All right. When you were making singles, what's the next single? Then it was, okay, I made a good album. All right. When's the next album coming out? And the next album. It's week to week in the NFL. One game doesn't make 17 or 16 more. It means one game and it's on to the next. Bill Belichick's famous words, we're on to Cincinnati. We're on to Cincinnati. It's you got to do it over and over, and that's what separates greatness. And that's why there's basically only 13 or so great NFL quarterbacks.
Yep, I agree. And that's why what he said at the end was good. You know, it was just immediately back to work. I just got to get back to work. There's things I got to patch up, which, of course, everyone's going to say he played perfect, but it's good that he knows he didn't. He made mistakes. But to go off of what you said about playing against the 2s and 3s and stuff, that's not his fault. You know, that's like, you can't you can't like use that against him, but you can't use it for him either. Like the heading on your graphics, perfect, relax. It's nothing. It's not, oh, he sucks, that was against the 2s, or it's also not, he's the best of all time, because whatever reasons you have, like, just chill out. No one even saw Dylan Gabriel yet, and they're already saying, like, let's see someone else play, you know?
Right.
I mean, Huntley looked okay.
And he is who he is. He's a career backup. That's just who he is. But yeah, how many guys have you seen as backups, like a Gardner Minshew, can come in and do something and light it up? It's 300. Oh my God, Gardner Minshew. Oh, why doesn't such and such team that needs him go get him? You can't overreact. You got to be able to produce this every single week. That's why certain guys are backups. They're good in a moment. How about us Lions fan? What's his name? Flynn from Green Bay, that threw 6 touchdown passes and 400 yards and was crutching to us in a big moment. Dude then they gave him starter money and like it was gone in a flash. Yeah. So it's just too much, but I understand why they're doing it, because this was hyped up. It was all hyped up. So,
yeah, and I think outside of you know his dad and just the kind of energy that he brings that maybe you don't want as your starting quarterback, that's a huge reason to me why he fell to the 5th round. Because if you're a team like Dallas and Dak has a bad game, you draft Shador and Dak has a bad game, forget about it. It's all put Shador in, and there's other places like that too. Like,
there's a lot.
Need a quarterback, like they have a quarterback, they have a guy that they want to make it work with, and you can't have a guy like that on the bench with the media storm behind him.
Yep.
If your guy's going to have a bad game, it's over.
Yeah, it was like if you went to the Giants or the Jets or anybody like that in the big media market like that, they'll eat you up, right? And if you're arrogant and you don't deliver, then they'll eat you up more. So the next guy we're going to go into here, I think, is a great example of this. He was what, 4th overall pick out of Florida. He did not have like this lengthy career at Florida where he lit it up. They basically, in my opinion, drafted him on sheer athleticism, athletic ability, which again, there's been a lot of quarterbacks, Achilles Smith, Dante Culpepper. You could go back eons of guys who had athleticism, Johnny Manziel, that could move around and do some things, but that doesn't make you a great quarterback. So here's Anthony Richardson from a couple of nights ago, and I have access to the film here. You tell me when to stop or pause or rewind. This is Anthony Richardson and the Indy Colts against Baltimore 2 nights ago. We're halfway through the first quarter, so the best of what's going to play for Baltimore is basically out there. So I'm going to let it run one full time, Luke, for everybody to see, and then we'll rerun it and take us through it.
Yep.
Currently for the Indianapolis Colts. Pressure.
Don't do this.
Coming, Richardson doesn't see it.
Oh. Let's try again.
Currently for the Indianapolis Colts. Pressure coming, Richardson doesn't see it.
All right, they're going to replay it here, and I think it'll show better.
Goodness, he held on to it,
but he's basically unblocked. It's a straight beeline.
On that play.
Yep.
By David Ochabo. Yeah, you can see right here, there's a miscommunication. Warren.
All right. So
goes out on the right. They bring 2 guys.
He never sees it. Let me get this back here, Luke. Go ahead and I don't know why we're lagging here.
That play by David Ochabo.
All right, let's watch the replay.
Yeah, you can see right here, there's a miscommunication. Warren goes out on the right.
All right, what's he thinking there, Luke, as a former quarterback?
Bring 2 guys.
Whatever he's thinking is wrong. I don't know what he's thinking. So if you go back to before the play starts, I'll
currently for the Indianapolis.
Right there. So coming up to the line of scrimmage, you know the play as a quarterback. So you have your running back that's protection, and you have your tight end that's protection. If they're out on routes, cancel them out. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heads to block 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defensive guys. Basically,
one more than you can block.
Yes, that makes that your man as the quarterback. That's your guy.
Yep.
If he comes, sometimes that's your first look, is that guy. Now, some teams, so I've had it both ways where that tackle, maybe he did the wrong thing, maybe he didn't. We're only their offensive line room knows, but it's most dangerous man on a blitz. So either he should have let the blitzer go or he should have stayed on the D end. Either way, someone's getting through. That's that fifth or that extra guy is the quarterback's guy.
But how does he never even feels it, let alone see it? He doesn't even, I mean, it's quick. It's not like he's, had a lot of time there, but he's not even feeling it.
No, and it's not even, this isn't even about feeling. It's about knowing who's leaving the backfield right now or who's going out on routes, because he's head up on your tight end and your tight end's leaving. That's a problem. Because
pressure.
Yeah, he's gone.
So here's another thing. That's a good pause right there where it just lagged a little bit.
No
where
chip.
He's looking.
Yeah.
No, it's free release. That's your hot route. Like, he's turning as soon as he passes him, he should have the ball. You don't want him to chip in case he gets knocked down, then there's no one to go to. But C40, what is that, 45?
Thank goodness.
Okay, go to the beginning of the play. So where he is looking, that edge rusher 45 bails. If you're a quarterback and you say we have a hat for a hat on the offensive line, and that DN bails, you're thinking, shit, something's coming from that side, because they're not just, this guy, whatever. When you see him bail, you're like, all right, back over here, because one, that's an extra guy in coverage over there.
Looking a little bit right here. You can see he's actually looking right. He's not looking straight up. So he is not, there is no recognition there pre-snap whatsoever. Agree?
Agree.
He isn't even familiar with the concept that is about to take place based on alignment.
Yep. And another thing is
currently for the Indianapolis Colts. Pressure coming. Richardson doesn't see it.
Getting a lag for some reason. I'm going to let it go and see if we can get the replay. And his finger's pointing in a whole different direction because he took the helmet right on his hand.
So the NFL is very, very complex with what they show, what they disguise, even in preseason. It can get confusing, right?
Yeah.
That's why you have a hot route. When there's something that you're thinking you don't understand or whatever,
Travis goes inside.
that running back's there for him. That's not there to an 80-yard explosive play. That's there for him to save his own ass and not get laid out like that. That running back's your saving grace on that. And you know that because he doesn't chip. That's free release.
That's a lack of understanding the quarterback position pre-snap. That's 100%. Where it all takes place. The rest is a formality. Would you agree? I mean, that's kind of, having never played the game myself, only basketball, because of the level you played at in college, you could say it much better than me, but all the diagnosis takes place when you approach the line, correct?
Yeah. Up front, yeah. Back in the secondary, I mean, 2 goes to 1 or 3, whatever happens post-snap, but pre-snap, you got to know, all right, that's my guy. If he comes, that's my guy. We have enough over here to protect. They had a hat for a hat on the left side. Right side had 2 guys leaving. So you got to subtract 2. You got to know my running back's gone, my tight end's gone. We're short a guy over here. Yep. So if somebody comes, hot route. Easy.
We always like to talk about the why. What could possibly be going through his mind that he's looking to just drop back and he knows what the routes are, and I got to find my guy, and he skipped over. I have to be protected, and I can't take a shot like that. And maybe I can't get the play down the field. I've got to take the hot. What could he possibly be thinking in that moment? If he's just amped up and he's just so desperate to make a play?
I don't want to this was first day of high school, like quarterback stuff. Like, I'm not trying to be smart or anything. This is first day of high school football.
It's the element. It's fundamentals.
It's very, very fundamental. You need to know those kind of things. And if he had something that he liked on the left side, that he obviously did because he was deadlocked over there, you got to move the offense. You got to shift the line over, or tell your running back, stay in, hang out, don't go.
Yeah.
Protect. They got an extra hat over there. So what's going through his head? Either he doesn't know the play, he doesn't know. He thinks the running back staying in, which is like we said on earlier shows. You got to know everybody's route. You got to know everybody's blocking assignment and read the defense. So it's possible that it slipped his mind that the running back was free release and he had no help there. So he's thinking, all right, running back's got me there, because you do have a lot going through your mind, and that's something that he's lacking, is being able to diagnose everything before the snap.
And this is year 3 for him. That's the frustrating part for an Indy fan, is this is year 3. This is not the first time. This is not one isolated incident. He's had some, there we go again with the word flashes. He's had some flashes where he shows his athleticism, but you're one of 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL, and he's trying to be the starter here. They brought Daniel Jones in and to press him and to pressure him and all this type of thing, but he got the start last night. It's his opportunity. When I talk about Shedeur Sanders taking advantage of an opportunity, this is his opportunity to show I've grown and that I'm ready, and he showed that he's not. And so for a while, I said this last year, he's 6'4", 245, and he's a freak athletically. He's just this mountain of a guy and a big dude. Why not at this point see if they can transition him to a tight end and put him opposite of Tyler Warren? It may never work. He might not want to do it, but he's not an NFL starting quarterback.
Right. Yeah, he's a guy that you want because, like you said, his freak athleticism. You want him to have the ball in his hands,
make plays.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't. We'll see. You know how that would be very racist if they move him to tight end.
Oh, they're gonna tear it up and then give it to Daniel Jones. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that never happens. Because I'll delete the app.
Yeah, it's just production, and it's who can produce. This is Jerry Glanville long ago from the Atlanta Falcons, Houston Oilers, who at the time said it. NFL stands for not for long if you do stuff like that. And
you
lose the right to go out there because you're not giving your team the best chance to win. And this is preseason. These are kinks you would expect from a rookie, not a third year guy. It's just not. And especially somebody that played at the University of Florida. It's not like he wasn't well schooled and played, for no disrespect, but like it's not like he came from North Dakota State type of guy. Not that that's bad, but you get what I'm trying to say. Big level SEC football. So it's really unfortunate to see.
Just to be clear to everybody, we just spent probably 30 minutes talking about how preseason means nothing to now kind of say he's got to move to tight end. But to be very clear, there's a huge difference between a rookie and the third string guy who has probably the most pressure on himself as a quarterback coming into the season this year. And it's fundamental things. If that happened to Shedeur, it could be, okay, well, they're going to watch the film. He's not going to make that mistake again. We've said he's not going to make that mistake again about Anthony Richardson a lot of times, and he keeps making that same mistake. So it's a totally different thing, but
Daniel Jones is not some world beater. Like that's not even your prototypical type of quarterback that you want to lead your franchise. But with the proper weaponry, and the Michael Pittman and Tyler Warren and Josh Downs and Jonathan Stewart, and that's not to say that Richardson's not better with that, but that's not about the talent that was around him. That's about something he didn't do, that he didn't recognize, and that's the difference. That's got to be scary for Indy fans and coaching staff, really. And
there is, looking from the outside in, there is a chance that the running back was supposed to stay in, or somebody was supposed to stay in. There is a chance. You got to,
well, if that's the chance, then he's got to be looking a little bit that way to make sure that the running back clips him. And Chase Daniel broke down Shedeur Sanders' film, and where he was able to throw that touchdown, 39, the running back was able to get over, and Chase was like, he's got to get over there quicker. If you know pre-snap that your running back is supposed to chip, well, you're looking a little bit and you're feeling a little bit if he's supposed to chip.
Yeah, that's that. At that point, it becomes like you get the snap. Like, did he just run out there? Like, you kind of gotta know. And he just, it's a little bit lost.
And so in film study and at pro level, from where you played at the elite high school level and in college, I got it. It's different. As a team, when they watch that today, is the coach not in the, if the whole team is watching this, are they saying, Anthony, that's on you and here's why?
Yeah.
They're going to call him out, right?
Even if the running back was supposed to stay in, even if the lineman picked up the wrong guy, it's the quarterback's fault. It has to be. They're not in the room pointing fingers at other people. Like he was unprotected because he was unprotected. There's people like Brady that never. He's not getting out of the pocket to save his life, but he got to the line, made sure everything was good to go, and protected himself. You got to protect yourself, and maybe that comes with being
protecting yourself by audibling. You saying?
Audibling, not necessarily, but yes, just you can fix it with little shifts to the line, or there's ways to. I could dive into this, but there's ways to like see things. That quarterback got so much easier for me when I realized that this is my stuff out here, and I can do with what I want. I can say, I'm looking, is this man you don't have to guess. You tell your tight end, say, hey, you do a little yo-yo motion for me. Run across and run back. See if anyone follows you. Go, yo-yo, yo-yo. And he's like, what? Like, just do it, go. Then the linebacker runs with them. You're like, all right, cool. It's man. Like, you can do things. And I know I was at a lower level than the NFL, obviously, but
Brady understood that. Manning
yeah,
understood
I mean, a lot
that.
of people.
Breeze understood that. These guys, the play is won in most cases before it's ever even snapped. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's only so much you can do on defense. There's only so many coverages that you can do, and each coverage has certain things that beat it. There's man beaters, cover 3 beaters, everything like that. So if you can diagnose what's going on and you have a route with a post and a curl, and you know what the coverage is, and you know you got this cover 2, you got a 2 beater, you won the play. Then it turns into the post snap stuff. Like, oh, did they disguise it? Is it something different?
Yeah.
Is there a blitz? Did my lineman mess up? Those are things that happen. But before the play, you can raise your chances a lot.
And the 3 quarterbacks that I just listed, Brady, Manning, and Breeze, are 3 of the most unathletic, in terms of a modern game. None of them had mobility. None of them had these extraordinary gifts in terms of physical athleticism, but they had this. And we've done segments, and I've taught it as a coach. The mental aspect is equally or more important than the physical aspect. You could be Superman if you can't see what you're supposed to see and diagnose and recognize and do what you just said. And I thought that was an interesting point. You said, once I realized that I wasn't just listening to the coaches, but I think to take this a step further, you knew you were in full command. It was your show. You were pulling the strings. And I love how you said the yo-yo motion. That's just simply design. That's basically bullshit, because you want to see who's going with him. And if that guy goes with them, he's giving you the answer to the test. And so Brady, he says it to this day, I was just smarter. Basically, he understood where you were going before you went there. And because he was able to anticipate, and he was 2 and 3 and 4 moves ahead, he always knew where the open guy was. People don't understand. Well, why was he so? Mahomes is another one. He's not like unbelievable. Yes, he's more mobile than those guys, but he's understanding, and it's recognition. And that's just.
Yeah, I mean, they say it about Mahomes all the time. I think it's so true. He can move and run, but doesn't it seem like Mahomes, when he runs, it's like 30 yards? Like, he only does it when he has to. Like, his yards per carry is probably crazy, because he only takes it when it's really given to him, and he's not forcing it and stuff, because he knows what's going on. It's his thing.
He's seeing that that's what they're giving him too.
Yeah,
he knows that everybody's going out and whatever their routes are, and they got to run with, and he knows the weaknesses, and he studied the film, and he's able to expose that. And so that's where the guys are they're just tiers. They're tiered levels higher, and Anthony's not there. All right.
Yeah.
Anything you wanted to close out with on that?
No, I think him and Hendon Hooker get the toilet bowl for yesterday.
Get the hook. Yeah, Hendon has run out of time, I think. And you got to hold on to the ball. That's a whole nother. Campbell said it last week. If you can't take care of the ball, you're not going to be here. And it's like, you can misdiagnose something, and you can, make an errant throw or something. But when you're not protecting the ball and you're losing the turnover margin, the turnover battle, everybody knows you lose the turnover battle. Chances are you lose the game, and you have a losing season or an unproductive season. Can't do it.
Yeah,
that's on him. It's on him. And like I say, if there was anyone other than Kyle Allen, no disrespect to Kyle Allen, it would already be solved. But it's not, because it is. And just because Kyle Allen did what he did yesterday doesn't mean he's a world beater either.
No.
All right. So moving on here to a rookie that I said this about. And hopefully this plays and we don't get any lag. Take a listen. Come on now.
Fan. I'll probably get blown up about this. Raider fan at 6. Here's why you don't take Ashton Giante. I think that Travion Henderson is right there with the guy. I think Travion Henderson is an incredible blocker. He's explosive.
Let me close a window here, and I should be able to get that.
He has insane hands. So everybody might say that is Giante. All right, Raider fan. I'll probably get blown up about this. Raider fan at 6. Here's why you don't take Ashton Giante. I think that Travion Henderson is right there with the guy. I think Travion Henderson is an incredible blocker. He's explosive. He has.
I get it.
Yeah, I wanted the audience
insane hands. So everybody might.
So what I said, this is March 12th, folks. I said Travion Henderson was equal to, if not better than, Ashton Giante. And from a Raiders perspective, they had 6 and 37. And I wanted them to take Mason Graham. Obviously, the Browns did at 4, so it wasn't really an option for you anyways. But I felt that Giante wasn't the pick at 6. I felt that they could get Travion Henderson. They had the 37th pick, and I was talking in this clip, and you can go. It's actually up on patreon.com/PB Sports or on our YouTube channel, PB Sports Talk, was that if you had to move up to 28 or 32 range to get Henderson, you could do that, because I just think that he is one of the greatest full packages we may have ever seen. Yes, I am saying that I'm saying it more now. And let's look at his play from last night. This is his first touch. And I closed out some windows, and hopefully this plays okay. Has a kick return, which I was surprised they put him.
There he goes. Oh, there he goes.
I mean, he has the ability to leg it out. He has the vision. He's got everything.
It's already a new season. The number. And this ball's coming out.
All right, so that's obviously not going to play either. Wonderful. But whatever that is, 85 yards for a touchdown.
That's all right.
On a kickoff return. Tremendous hands, tremendous speed, explosive, unbelievable vision. My greatest fear for Travion Henderson is Mike Vrabel. And is he going to be Belichicked? And because historically, Belichick was never about a one-back system. He was about a multiple-pronged approach, at least 2 guys, many times 3 guys. Bring in your third down back. McDaniels is obviously the O coordinator. It's the same system that they're going to put in there. Is he going to be the bell cow? We'll see. But he showed last night on his first touch, freaking 4 seconds into the game, why I was so high on him. Being from Michigan, watching Ohio State, obviously I watched him very closely. Nothing the guy can't do, and he played at the highest level of football. Your thoughts on Travion, Luke?
Yeah, I was high on him too. We've talked a few times about my roommate. He's got some bad taste. He's a diehard Ohio State fan too. So watching,
you live with the guy. Killing me. How's that possible?
Man. I don't know. I made a mistake, but when he took it to the house versus Texas right before half, I was like, dude, that's one of the biggest plays in Ohio State football history. They needed a score. An 80-yard screen pass was exactly what the doctor ordered for them to win a champion. And he did it. And I was like, that's a ball. I was a fan. As watching with a critical eye, I still was a fan. Hated him. He never really did much against Michigan, so it's not a big deal for me. But he's a stud, man. He is good, and he looks good. I know he had some injury issues at Ohio State.
He looks even
really
faster.
Good.
He looks even a little bit more slender, and he's put together. Yep. but he actually looks, maybe it's the padding, but he looks a little bit sleeker, and in that equally, if not more explosive. And this is not I think Ashton Giante is going to be terrific, but I just think the value at 6, you could have come back later because nobody was targeting Henderson, maybe at best at the end of the first round. And so 37, you're five picks into the second round. I get it. You don't wait to that, step up, but you could have took somebody at 6, instant impact, and you needed a wide receiver, right? You could have done that. You could have went that route with Tata if you wanted to. But nevertheless, he is going to be an amazing find. All right, let's see, based on some of that, let's see if we can get Jackson Dart, who starts out at 1 o'clock. I went way out on the limb, and I said Jackson Dart would be the best overall quarterback taken out of the 25 draft, following up when I said Jaden Daniels would be the best out of the 2024 draft, and that it wouldn't be Caleb Williams, it wouldn't be Drake May, and I had Bo Nix way up there too. That's on video. Let's see if we can get this to play about Jackson Dart. This is back in mock before the draft. I don't see that either. But let's talk Jackson Dart. I have, through this whole process, I actually had Jackson Dart rated higher than Cam Ward. In fact, I had Jackson Dart as my number 1 rated quarterback in this draft. And I got, multiple people after 1.0 draft were like, what are you talking about? People putting clown faces and all the time. I think this kid's the real deal. I really do. I really do. He's already moved up draft boards. I think I watched him with Lane Kiffin. I talked about it in the 1.0. He's been schooled. He's a tough kid. This guy cares. I mean, you saw him in the game where he kept having a chance to come back. Was it Alabama? I can't remember who they were playing, but he kept on making a mistake, and you see him just take it and wear it on the sidelines. He wants it so badly. He progressed in his time at Ole Miss. He can make every throw. He's got the moxie. He's got the pocket presence. He has the leadership ability. He has the toughness. Make every throw. He's smart. He can go through every read, every progression. He can get the ball out quickly. I think he can do it all. And he's a terrific long thrower of the ball, too. I don't think he even gets enough credit for that. Didn't really happen this year like it did the year before. He had a lot more of that. But I think he's a perfect fit for New Orleans. If you can get Olave back healthy, and I still got Kamara there, a couple of pieces. I think he's a guy that franchise could rebuild around. So we get the gist of it, in that I think that he's the number 1 quarterback of the draft. We get a chance to see him here at 1 o'clock. And like I said, like we both said earlier, can't read too much into it either way. If he comes out and lights the world on fire, or he's the opposite of it, it's a process. He's a rookie, and you're going to let that play out. But this dude, man, I just think he's got big things in front of him. We'll see how it plays out. Luke, what are your thoughts? And then specifically as a former quarterback, and the level of coaching that he had from Lane Kiffin, and that, Lane, I think everybody can agree, is a really creative guy. He's got some quirks to him, but offensively and at the college level, really a creative guy.
Yeah. First of all, probably the best named quarterback I've been alive to see. Jackson Dart is. Yeah, that's a amazing quarterback name. So points for that. But he loses it because I can't stand the Giants. Probably my least favorite football franchise is the Giants. So we're back to even. A Tom Brady, growing up Tom Brady fan. Oh. Yeah. And anyways, whatever. And I don't mind the Cowboys either. I'm not even going to get into that. But Jackson Dart, I think, talented, yes. Athletic, yes, he can move around and make plays and stretch plays out. And we'll see. We'll see. It's a lot of. I'm looking to today when I watch it. I'm going to be looking at the mental side of things because I watched a little bit of his pre-draft like interviews and things like that, and it seems like Lane Kiffin really, for being so creative, he kept it very vanilla. Like so, which is smart. He said, I've had coaches like that too. We want you to play fast, which means we don't want you to think as much. So here's the most easy way that I can,
Less on
we
your
can do this. Right. And I think Lane Kiffin did that. And the NFL, no matter how vanilla you make it, you got to think back there. And I'm excited to see, some of the decisions he makes. But like you said, I can't read too much into it. But yeah, I'm excited to see him. I like him too. I think, yeah.
And it's Buffalo, and Buffalo's not going to be playing their starters, obviously.
Right.
Maybe a couple for a couple of minutes, and that's about it. But it is a what I would consider to be a world-class organization. And McDermott, I think, is a terrific coach. Whether you're the 2 or you're the 3, it's not a shit show over there. So
right.
You're going to have your best foot forward, even with your lesser guys. So let's see if they give them a half or whatnot, and we'll see how it plays out. For me personally, for going so far out on the limb, just this is from a selfish perspective, going so far out on the limb against Shedeur for reasons that have nothing to do with why people assault me every day, and then going out on the limb for Jackson Dart is strictly a performance against elite competition in the SEC, and he's did it for more than 1 year too, by the way. And I could actually argue that 2 years ago he was better than this than this past year. But we'll start to see that uncover itself.
Yeah, you could use this one. You could use a good game from Dart tonight.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
Jalen Milroe. There's no highlights of him here at all. But what are your thoughts on a guy like Sam Darnold, where you know what the ceiling is, and you're basically doing a reboot to a degree in Seattle, but it's what I call, it's not a rebuild. It's a reboot in that they let, Lockett's gone, Metcalf's gone, and Jigba's there, Kenneth Walker's there. You've got pieces, right? Yeah. And you draft Milroe, and what was he? The 4th round, I believe it was, right around there. And you go get Darnold, and I'm not a Darnold guy. I'm just not. It was very inflated based on player and ability around him in Minnesota, and he just didn't F it up all the time like he had done in the past. So how long is it going to be before we see the athletic, strong arm Milroe behind there?
We're going to disagree here. I don't mind him. I like Darnold. I think.
Wow.
Yes, he got lifted up. He got lifted up a little bit by the talent around him, but so many people do. You can say that about a lot of NFL quarterbacks, huh?
A little bit? He got lifted up a little bit? Okay.
He made the plays, man. He pushed the ball downfield. He didn't lose games, which is more than I can say for a few NFL quarterbacks that are getting talked about being replaced. So we'll see. And I think I like Milroe though. I think he's not the world's greatest passer by any means, but we've seen that can,
So to prove that, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say you can develop that. So I think that's. I was going to come into this and say get rid of Milroe, give him a chance somewhere else because I like him, but I don't mind keeping him behind Sam Darnold and developing him a little bit. Because he needs to develop throwing aspect of it, I think. But if he does, he'll be dangerous. He'll be good, I think. I mean, Milroe's a freak athlete. He's got a strong arm. He just is lacking a little bit of the touch. And we've seen Lamar, we've seen Josh Allen, 2 of the best quarterbacks undoubtedly in the league right now. And they couldn't really throw worth anything when they came into the league accurately and with touch, and they developed it. So I think Milroe is going to be good. I'm not going against you there that he has the talent to pass him, but let's see what Darnold does. He had a good year. Let's not count him out.
He's been around forever now, and he failed in Carolina. He failed with the Jets, and his moment of success was with Minnesota with a whole bunch of talent. I get you. Here's something I'm going to say, and everybody could bookmark this, because this goes against any race card that people continue to play. I'm going to say something here about Milroe that is it's almost counterintuitive. It's the opposite of what traditional thinking is. I actually think that Jalen Milroe is going to be a better pro than he was a college player. It's the 100% opposite. And sometimes it's just, I don't know, the change. Sometimes it's a light bulb moment. It's an epiphany. It just all starts to come together. Seattle is run by John Schneider. I mean, you have the loss of Pete Carroll, but you have, what's my guy's name there? Not McDaniel. That played at Michigan. Help me out. That Michigan, the D coordinator.
I can see his face. He's
going to be a phenomenal head coach, a very, very balanced guy, terrific coach. But I think Milroe's going to get this job probably by week 6. I can see it. And I can see part of the reason that happens is Darnold getting injured or just not performing at a high enough level. And they're not prepared. Give me his name.
Mike McDonald.
Yeah, Mike McDonald. I'm getting him mixed up with McDaniel over there in Miami.
Same.
But Mike McDonald, I think, is a terrific coach. But you already know what you have in one guy, and you don't know fully what you have in the other. And the fact that you're rebooting and you're not expected to go anything like 12-5 or 13-4, what do you have to lose? Now, I'm not saying that that's game 1, but at some point this year, I think you got to see Milroe as a starter. You got to let him get in there, and I think he can work some magic with what they have over there, with Walker in the backfield and Jigba, and they've got a couple of other weapons over there too that they can do some things. I expect him to surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree. And Seattle's one of those franchises too, like you said, that's just without Pete Carroll, they're run well. They're gonna be okay. But I want to ask you this. So Baker Mayfield's kind of a guy that didn't do so hot. You know, he was okay. I thought he was good in Cleveland. He had a ton of help though. He had a great roster, great run game, O-line, everything. He's a guy that bounced around. You know, they said Colin Cowherd was telling him to retire and stuff. And then he found his home after he had one good game with the Rams, he finds his home in Tampa Bay, right? Are you totally gone on the idea that Sam Darnold could have kind of rebooted his career last year like Baker did?
See, Baker already showed it in college, some of the things that he can do where he was gifted. The mind wasn't there. The mental side, the arrogance. And I talk with a lot of guys in Cleveland, and they're pissed. They're pissed that to watch him, it hurts them to watch him succeed in Tampa. And I go back and forth with these guys, and I'm like, you can't look at what he is today and rewind 7 years ago or whatever it is and say that this Baker was that Baker. It's the same guy, but they're two different people. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
he even himself, and I had to show him had to show these guys the documentation where Baker Mayfield himself says, I was immature. I was not ready. I did the wrong things. I didn't prepare. You know, it was the commercials. It was the sensationalism. And he was that way at Oklahoma. And I know you're Mr. Boomer Sooner, but he acted like an asshole. And he needed to come down about 3 pegs. And then he learned how he needed to be a pro. And there's more to being a pro than just what you can do on the field. It's how you act. It's how you lead. It's how others will follow you. It's how you take control of the situation, and how everything else is bigger than what you are as a person or as a quarterback. Sam Darnold never lit the world on fire. It was actually what I would consider a very small sample size. I believe he was overhyped, overpromoted, because in the NFL, not everyone, half the league is basically desperate for a quarterback. And so I think he was pushed into something that he really wasn't, whereas Baker showed what he can do in terms of gifted ability on the field. Darnold had the mental side, not the physical. Mayfield had the physical, but not the mental. So I think we've seen the ceiling of Sam Darnold. How much better can Sam Darnold be? Come on.
So I think, I like what you're saying, but I think we have our first disagreement of the year. I think, I'm excited to see.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So let's go Team Sam Darnold over here. Now, for no reason at all, I want to see Sam Darnold do good. But I think that there is something to say about what he went through in Minnesota, as far as, because he shined, right? He had his moments, yes. No denying that. He made some great throws. He had some great late game drives and things like that. Those go to the bank for yourself, for someone that's been doubting themselves, for someone that's had bad years, and people look at him as, now he was a top prospect and now he's like a lifelong backup to himself. Then he comes out and says, look what I can do. I think that could propel him to another kind of level. I don't think he's going to be a top 5 quarterback in the league, but he's somebody that I think that can really, like, for Seattle, kind of keep the boat straight on this transition. And I think
he can do that. But is that what you want? Is that what you want?
He's not going to win the Super Bowl this year, but I think he's, if I'm a Seahawks fan, is that what I want?
If you're a Seahawks fan or you're a Seahawks front office guy, you want to just keep the ship steady, or do you really want to grow? I mean, again, if he comes out and throws for 4,000 yards and, I don't know, 29 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, that's basically, you can write it down. You already know. Is that what you want in Seattle? Does he have another tier, another step, another level? He is who he is. He's a 15 to 18 quarterback or 15 to 20 quarterback, and he's never going to be higher than that. I think you would even agree with that. He ain't going to 12 or 10 or 8. So why don't you see what you have? And if it doesn't work, go to Darnold. Now, you paid him starter money, so you have to, for his tier, you paid him that money. You want to get your value of it, but it's about winning. It's about, Milroe has some abilities that you just got to see.
Yeah.
And you need to see it more than in practice. And what you see tonight, it isn't going to give you everything you need. You need to see him in game action inside of the 17-game season. You're Seattle. You're the middle of the road team right now. You don't want to be middle of the road. Sam Darnold's middle of the road. He ain't getting you to the front of the road. It's just that simple. Sorry.
We'll see how they build it. There's been quarterbacks worse to go further. There's been, you don't need, lately, you don't need a top 10 quarterback to go deep in the playoffs.
I'm glad we disagree. We agreed too damn much. It'll make for a better show. Honestly, it'll make for a better show. I just don't see any more upside in him. It's like what I talked about with you. I knew what you had. I also knew I could get you further, and there was the mental side that needed to catch up. And then once I got the mental side to catch up, where you realized that anything was possible if you put the work in, then there's upside. He isn't going to suddenly, have 39 touchdowns and 3 interceptions for the Seattle Seahawks. It's just not going to happen.
That's an MVP number. I'm not saying he's going to be MVP, but if he
was
replicates
in the MVP conversation last year, now you're going to say he's not in the MVP conversation. Why wouldn't he be? I'm waiting because you're going to.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with the Vikings were like one of the best teams in the league last year, record-wise. But I was going to say something, but you stumped me.
I got you stumped. Jalen Milroe right now has a higher upside than Sam Darnold. Right now, he has a higher upside than Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I mean, it's the unknown. We don't know what he can do. But when you know what Sam Darnold can do, and everyone's saying that we know his ceiling, we know what he can do. If he came out and replicated his numbers from last year,
he's not. You just admitted that. He can't, because he doesn't have Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and Aaron Jones. He doesn't have that. I mean, Kenneth Walker's a nice player, but Darnold was there for a minute. I mean, there's not the same tools in Seattle as there is in Minnesota. Agree?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's
so let me ask you this. What's a good year for him this year? Give me wins and touchdown interception ratio. Just off the top of your head, what's a good year for Sam Darnold this year? Where you would say, okay, Luke won this one.
There is no winning it. There's no possible way you can win this, because all right. So I haven't done the break. I've broken down a lot of teams and put it out there. If I'm to sit right here off the top of my head and give you a record, and I don't even have who their opponents are right now, but just an overall record, best case scenario is 10-7. Best. but you're more than likely looking at something like a 7-10, 8-9.
That's probably fair.
Still get screwed up with the 17 games. It's
Yeah.
like you got to configure that game. 10-7, best case. Not more like a 9-8, 8-9.
So if they go ahead.
I didn't finish the statistical part. If you were able to get 30, 34, 3,500 yards and 29 touchdowns, I think you're looking at probably like a 28 touchdowns and something like 12 to 14 picks. It's 2-1 ratio, touchdown to interception, 35-ish, maybe 3,600 yards type of range, right in there, 34 to 36, that 37 range. That's about it.
So now, is that your prediction, or is that what you think is like that's his ceiling?
No, his ceiling is probably a little bit higher than that, but his ceiling is not that much higher to it, to where you say, hey, we're all in with Sam Darnold. If Sam Darnold comes out and throws for 3,800 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions, how much further are you along than what you think you are supposed to be? He's not making you considerably better, is my point. He's just not.
Yeah.
He's in the Geno Smith type of realm. Can he come in? Can he manage a game? Can he, maybe limit some mistakes? Yes, but he's a 15th to 20th ranked quarterback in the NFL. All right, that it just is what it is. How long? It's the question ultimately is how long and they know this, by the way. They know who he is. They know what they got. There's enough of a body of work. The skill set is not there like Baker Mayfield to see a considerable turnaround. And he doesn't even have the ceiling that Shedeur Sanders has, if I'm being totally honest. Shedeur possesses certain abilities that just go further than what a Sam Darnold is and can be. He's not going to light the world on fire. He did at moments because you have arguably the best wide receiver on your team in the entire league. You have a solid offensive line. You have a solid veteran, can do it all running back. He's not what he once was, but Jones can protect. He can catch. He can do all the things. Offensive-minded coach. Addison on the other side. Hawkinson. You got guys all over the place, and he still failed in the biggest moment. So it's like
he did.
Yes, he did, and that's who Sam Darnold is.
I disagree. I think he's very underrated as an athlete. I think
he can move a little bit. He can move a little bit. Yeah, he did some things. I'll give you that.
He's not known for that at all. I think if you take the general public and say Sam Darnold, they think he's gumpy or whatever the word is. But no, he's an athlete. He's got a strong arm. And I think from what you're saying, for the mental part wasn't there, or the physical part isn't there for him, but the mental part is. I think the mental part came a long way last year. I think when he was in those bad situations and things like that, that really affected his performance mentally and decision making and things like that.
And that's O'Connell. That's O'Connell helping him.
Yeah, but I mean, O'Connell's not there anymore. But he was getting interviewed in the game, and he kind of said he took pieces. Like, he's got what he learned. It's not like, oh, O'Connell's not there to hold his hand. He's got what he learned. He's going into a new situation. I'm rooting for the guy. I think he's top. I think he's within the top 15. Within the top 15 this upcoming season.
Yeah. Jalen Milroe got drafted where Jalen Milroe, and I agree with the positioning. I still don't think Jalen Milroe is as good as Cam Ward. I don't think he's as good as Jackson Dart. And that's just, I still feel that way. But when you're comparing the upside, and you're right, some of it is unknown, but the dude has freakish athletic ability. He is one of the best long throwers that the NFL or the college has ever seen. I think that's indisputable. He's got wheels galore, but in big games, he came up small. That's just, I think, the knock on Jalen Milroe against Michigan, against others. He didn't perform at an ultimate level. What is the exact reason for that? I think it's about to be determined if he gets a shot. But again, I'm going to give you it's like this. It doesn't even make sense to say. When I listen to myself say this, it sounds stupid, but it's what I believe. He's going to be a better NFL quarterback than he was a college quarterback. And you need to see that, and you need to see that as soon as possible because of who he's behind. You already know the body of work. And let's say Darnold goes up a click individually. The team isn't structured as such to where it's like it's already Minnesota built. Hey, we took Sam Darnold from over here. We lost Geno Smith and we put Sam Darnold in, and then we're just going to hit the ground running, and we're still a 13-4 team type of thing. It's not that. And based on need, based on situation, based on your talent, based on everything you have, it's worth taking a shot. If you do, what's their record? What do you think? I'll turn it to you. What do you think their record is, barring injury? To him,
I'm right with you. Probably 9-10 wins.
All right. So 9 wins in the NFL now is 500, essentially.
Yeah. So, but what I'm saying that's different from what you're saying is, I think that if he does go up a click, or how you worded it, he is a guy that, when I say keep the boat steady, I'm not saying like they want to be average. I'm saying he's going to keep the boat steady while you bring in pieces, while you rebuild, readjust, you build up the defense better, you get another weapon.
Oh, so you're talking 2 years.
Yes, I'm talking stick with them, and like Baker did. That's what I was saying. What Baker did with Tampa Bay.
So then you drafted Jalen Milroe to sit for 3-4 years. That's what you're basically saying.
I think they drafted Jalen Milroe to see what he's got, and he's going to take some time to develop. I think he's got the tools and stuff, but are you starting him if he's on a playoff contender team? Are you going to feel comfortable starting him right now? No, he needs some time.
No, he's not a starting NFL quarterback on a playoff team, but he's not on one. I think we can agree he's not on one, and you can argue that it isn't even fringe on it. Like, Seattle has taken some steps back. There's just no doubt about it. They have some pieces. It's not an empty cupboard by any means, and they are well coached and they are well run, and Schneider will build the guys. He's taken a lot of heat for letting Metcalf go. I don't agree with that. I think it was actually the right move to not pay all that money. I really do. And Lockett got older, and to turn it over into the Njigbas and to the younger guys is the right move. But you didn't draft Jalen Milroe to sit him for 4 years. I don't believe that. Now, could you develop him and it's an asset, and then, Darnold is your guy, and then you move Milroe for other assets that make sense?
Yeah.
You could do that, kind of like what Belichick did with Garoppolo, and the plan was, hey, he's not going to surpass or supplant Brady, but let's develop him and let's trade him for other pieces that we could use in other spots.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think that that's happening, I don't know. I don't think Darnold isn't going to just keep the freaking scoreboard lit up where you just are going to stay right there, Jalen, and there's no way you're coming in. There's too much ability sitting there. It isn't even like Jordan Love when he sat. It isn't even like Aaron Rodgers when he sat. Milroe has explosive ability and traits that are very difficult to find in NFL quarterbacks. I'll go back to the question in the beginning. How long can an organization allow that to sit and not be seen?
That's a good question. But a lot of times they say injury creates opportunity. There's opportunity everywhere.
I agree.
He's going to get a chance. What if Sam Darnold goes down?
Yeah.
There's things, God forbid, but like, he'll get an opportunity. And when he does, your question will be answered. It's not, if Milroe goes off, then you have a question. Do we keep him? Or do we go get other pieces with him? Or do we keep Darnold? Do we go get other pieces with Darnold? Because like you said, there's a lot of teams that need a quarterback right now. So the best thing for Seattle would be for both of them to be what's the word? Good, I guess.
Performing.
Good. For both of them to be,
But Sam Darnold's not your future. He's the now for the moment. He's not your future. So you're going to say, oh, we're going to keep Sam Darnold there. You got to think about who's sitting there and what type of ability he possesses. You don't have a guy in the position, Sam Darnold, that this is top shelf and there's no way we can get better because he's already there. That's not what Sam Darnold is, and that's not, in my opinion, what Sam Darnold's going to be. That does not mean that Jalen Milroe is going to be that, but there's something so explosive and so unique and so unbelievably gifted and talented and schooled, by the way, at Bama with some years under Nick Saban, to where you can just let him sit there and not know. The fear of knowing, the fear of not knowing is sometimes greater than, or the fear of knowing is sometimes greater than the fear of unknowing. The knowing and the unknowing is both, it's going to kill them. You know what you have in Darnold. You don't know fully what you have in Milroe, and there's only one way to know, and preseason isn't going to do that for you.
Yeah, I agree. I think the way you're looking at it is that they're not contenders this year, so you might as well put it all on the table and see what you got.
But what I'm really saying is the Sam Darnold he is what he is. You already know what you have. See, I actually believe Jared Goff could get better. And Jared Goff has all the weapons in the world around him as an example. He could go further, and he has gone further in terms of performance from where he was with the Rams and what he's done with the Lions. And that came with pieces. But
let's do this. Let's see.
For years like that.
Goff did the same thing Sam Darnold did last year with all the weapons, all the pieces. He had worse numbers, and he folded in the biggest moment. That's the same thing Darnold did. They're right there with each other right now.
Oh man, we're going in directions in this show I didn't think, but that's fine. Sometimes you got to go.
After last season,
you're going to tell me Jared Goff's responsible for the Washington loss? Is that what you're telling me?
He did not play good at all. He did not. I'm not saying he lost us the game, but he damn sure didn't win it.
Well, we know that because they lost.
Yeah, I know, but there's sometimes he's
coordinator running a wide receiver freaking reverse pass, who's never thrown the ball all year long, and you're tricked up bullshit down 10 in the freaking fourth quarter. That's what you do. You took the ball out of your quarterback
because
hands.
I don't think I think we should have took the ball out of the quarterback's hands and just gave the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs the whole game. Because Washington is the worst run defense in that I saw last year. Gibbs was eating them up, and this is I need Lions football to come back because this is crazy. Like I hate it.
You hate what? Worst. The way it ended.
The way how I still feel how it ended. I can sit there and like, are you kidding me?
Here's the thing. That's you in Florida feeling that way. They feel that way right now, and it's sticking in their stomach, and they want to come back, and they want to prove it all wrong, which is why I predicted what they would do this year, is because this whole thing, that's a topic for another day, but they will be back, and he will be better for it, and I just don't think Sam Darnold's the guy, but we'll let that play out, and we'll see where it takes us. All right, so we got a little funny here. This is Luke in college. That's what his college locker room looked like. Nice wood there, right?
It was way bigger on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's basically the entrance behind you there. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Is your locker right there? Are you by it, or was it in some other area?
It was to my. If you turn it around, it was to my right. So I was close
is this
to it,
before a game or is this after a game?
No, it's just during. It's not on game day.
Oh, that you wore that for practice?
No, it was some media thing, and it's actually. I have a good point about it, about what we're going to get into. So go ahead, do your thing.
Let me ask you this question: what the hell is the starting quarterback that the whole team leans on a freaking skateboard, one-legged, in the locker room at the school? Why is that happening? What are you, Tony Hawk?
I didn't get any PR training, I guess. But so here's what I'll say though, because I'm gonna spoil it a little bit. We're gonna talk about the Texas locker room, but you don't realize.
You want me to go to it? You want me to go to it now?
Not yet.
Okay.
You don't realize how much time a football player spends inside that locker room. It's insane. It's insane. You wake up in the morning, you have your workouts. First of all, you wake up in the morning, you go to the locker room to get ready for workouts at 5 in the morning. Then you work out. Then you go back to the locker room, shower, go to class, come back to the locker room. And not everybody's class schedule is whatever. Sometimes I didn't have class for an hour before practice. I would go take a nap in the locker room. I would eat my food in the locker room. I was in there hours every day. So for the Texas football players, that is so awesome. And like, they have, I don't know, I love it. I love this place. This place was great. And that's why I'm on a skateboard, is because I was in there all day just doing nothing. And I was bored. And
until you turn your freaking ankle.
Yeah, I should have took the cleats off probably. But some kid was like, some kid was saying I couldn't skate. And I grew up skateboarding. So
you're near the entrance. As you go to the center of the locker room, was there a seating area and stuff to sit down and kind of chill? Was there a TV in there?
Yeah, but that wasn't in the locker room. It was like, so if you go straight from where I'm going, it was just like 4 rows of lockers. And then out the back was like a little area with couches and like a TV and stuff. But yeah, I have pictures of me like sleeping on the floor in there and like all that stuff.
Without further ado, University of Texas. We've been getting all kinds of legs.
I wanna rock your body. I wanna go for a ride. Hop in the music and rock your body.
Nice right here.
Man. That is some badass stuff right there. And
yeah, I guarantee you there's people in there all the time. Like, people are living in there pretty much. You always have something to do that you got to be there for. So sometimes you just stay.
Let's look at that one more time. And you know that's only part of it. There's going to be another side of that lounge area.
Nice right here.
And so this is not a new thing. Obviously, colleges have been doing this for a long time. And the smaller schools, like, there's just almost no way to compete. I mean, Texas is a massive, massive, massive moneymaker. Fundraisers like Alabama, it's like Oklahoma, it's like all of those schools. If you are not continuing to up the game and give people a reason to come, they're going to the other guy, to the other team that has it. And so those mid-majors and things, it's like that. It's even extra incentive to want to perform, you know, in the high school, grade school, high school level. Put yourself in a position to walk in a locker room that looks like that. Look like those were electronic recliners, and it's probably got all the USBs, and you know, they got drawers for their cleats. I mean, that's some badass. It's not just a frame of a locker room, and you know, here you're gonna hang your stuff. That's maybe nicer than some pro lockers.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say we were in the Lions locker room for state championship, and
they just redid it.
It's it was a giant square.
Yeah.
And like nothing in the middle, and nothing. I mean, it was cool being where the pros are, but it wasn't. Our locker room was cooler than theirs in high school. So yeah, but I did see something on X like a week ago that was like, all the away locker rooms in the SEC are just absolute hot garbage. Like, when you travel away in the SEC, it's terrible. They said they're going to try to make a documentary about it, which I'd like to see.
Are you seeing my screen right now, Luke, or no?
Just you and me.
Okay. I'm going to see if I can pull this up. here to close out on the WNBA topic. So anybody who's a basketball fan might want to see this. When we had the technical difficulties earlier, I had it up, but let's see if I can pop this up now. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to. Just bear with me just a moment. Luke, anything else to share for the listeners while we're on the football topic here while I'm doing this?
Not really. I mean, we covered a lot. It's just
anything else.
I'll say the last few weeks, maybe even month or so, fans have been so hyper fixated on the stats that were coming out of practice. But like deep down, everybody knows they don't matter. And now everyone's so hyper fixated on how they're playing in the preseason. But we also, again, know that it's a grain of salt. You can't take it too seriously. So just back to the very first slide you had, if we could all just relax and calm down, that would be great. I've seen stuff saying I've seen Ashton Genty's the biggest bust of all time. Dude.
Who says that?
It's on my Twitter. Just people not like coward or anything, but people are posting I don't know. I'm not gonna get disrespectful here, but people need to calm down.
Yeah. I don't even what was the context of it? Why were they even saying it?
They said of Ashton Genty?
Yeah. Why were they saying that he's
it was horrible? A stat line.
Oh, everything's going wrong today.
It was his stat line, and it said Ashton Genty when he's not playing against when he's not getting 30 carries against some like computer tech school or something. And then comments were like, low-key biggest bust of all time. Okay, that's man. Stupid. Well, yeah, we'll see because it means that much. But
all right, WNBA, I got to close with this. We've talked about it a lot on previous shows. I don't really want to get into some long thing here, but Diana Taurasi, who's one of the greatest WNBA players ever, comes out on an Amazon Prime special. It's a trailer for the show. I don't know if it's out yet or not. But she's got about a 1 minute, maybe 2 minute clip talking about she had to go to a communist country to make real money and then come back to the United States and make nothing. All right. So I just wanted to lay that out. I don't have the video up. I did before, but I don't have that up to put on right now. But I created this off another graphic. And I just want to go through this because, you know, I've been watching the series Unreal for the WWE. Where they're talking, take you through an entire year, a Netflix special, an entire year for the WWE, 5 or 6 episodes. And I had been thinking about this in that context before I actually saw the special. And I have one episode or half of an episode left to go. Now that I've actually seen it, it's almost like the WNBA has been hanging out with Nick Khan and Triple H and The Rock to model the WNBA after the WWE, because that's essentially what it's become. And if you look at what they've done with the women in the WWE, it feels like that's what they're doing with the women in the WNBA. So let's go through some of these things that I put on here, because the focus, folks, it is not on basketball. It's just not. Everything being talked about and giving popularity or getting eyeballs is almost nothing. Nothing. It just drives me crazy. It's almost nothing to do with basketball. And with my basketball background, it makes me sick. The WWE is being sold for what it is. It's entertainment. People know it's scripted. You go watch it because of that. Who's going to be the champion today? Who's the heel? Who's the popular guy? And you know that's what you're getting. This is a basketball league that's supposed to be built on basketball. Instead, through this year up to the present day, literally, and it's still going on, targeting wrestling, racism, sexualization, the runway photos. It's the same runway basically as the WWE, just not, it's in a freaking, it looks like it's in the back, you know, it's in the back of the stadium building and it's not all done up like the WWE, but runway photos, sex toys. You know this, right? There's bets on what color, on if it's going to happen in this game. You can bet on it. This is the WNBA. This is an NBA product with a W in front of it. Provocative videos that Sophie Cunningham is leading the way, and now Lexi Hall. And I thought it was phenomenal because Caitlin Clark, she doesn't promote this. She doesn't play around with any of this stuff. I think, and Paige is the same way. These are basketball lifers. Nothing means more to them than basketball. And they know if they play basketball and they act certain way, the sponsorships will come, the accolades and the adulation will come, but they don't have to do provocative videos. They don't. Now you got Lexi Hall and you got Sophie did, they got super short jean shorts to make a playoff, the American Eagle commercial. They got the cowboy boots on. They got the skin tight shirt with the stomach showing, and they're looking for sponsors. So the provocative videos, the horrible officiating, the pay us what you owe us from the All-Star, Angel Reese, we'll sit out if you don't pay us. We need more time off. Obviously, Diana Taurasi's interview, lobbying. She's lobbying for gum sponsors, for all sorts of sponsors. I'm talking about Sophie, and there are others. They all admitted they didn't even try in the All-Star game. And then the other day, Sue Bird, who's, I believe, married to Megan Rapinoe, they do a skit where she's cheating with the mascot up in the first row while Megan Rapinoe is in the first row on the floor, and they make it this skit to do what that CEO did. It's just, there it is again in the center. No basketball focus at all. It's an all-female soap opera. And I thought of that during this week. It's not like rocket science, but it's really a soap opera. It's what are you going to turn on to what be the next craziest moment that basically has nothing to do with basketball. Luke, we both have long basketball backgrounds. All right. This is somebody told me the other day, a lady told me that I am not horrible.
Homophobic.
What's that?
Homophobic?
No, it wasn't anything related to that. Cruel. She said I was cruel because I feel this way, that the game has turned into this, and that the production value of it is all of this and very little basketball. And she said I was cruel. What are your thoughts, Luke, on this?
I mean, it's a joke. If you look at like some of these things, I mean, obviously no league is perfect. Everybody's got their things, their off-season drama and stuff, but if you go to an NBA game, someone throws out a sex toy, the ref has to say, hey, that happens again, it's a technical foul for the home team. Not going to happen again, or whoever throws it is getting jumped and probably put in the hospital or whatever. They take it serious. People take it seriously. And like you said, I watch basketball for good ball, for good basketball. If you're watching the WNBA, there's really no reason to watch it right now except for all the things on there. It's a joke.
So there are people that have built their entire X pages based on the WNBA, based on Caitlin Clark, because they see an opportunity to build out a base and get it to the monetization level, and there's opportunity there. And there are several that were based on Caitlin Clark for basketball reasons, and the fame and popularity and the taking a game that had 6,000 fans to making it 17,000 fans was because of her. She made a comment the other day. Again, it was Lexi Hall and it was Sophie in, skimpy bathing suits laying out in the morning of a game. They were playing, I believe, the Sparks, Los Angeles at night. And they said something about looking for some sponsors. And Caitlin Clark, and this wasn't AI, I ended up had to dig to make sure it wasn't fake because there's so much fake stuff. And she says, kidding or playfully says, but I think it's that passive aggressive. She's like, how about some more focus on basketball? And then Sophie says something about, well, your pale ass should be out here, or something to that effect. And it's like, you guys just don't get it. Number one, she can't do all that stuff because of her brand. It just makes sense for her not to. You're trying to build your whole brand, but neither Lexi, and they do things on the court. Sophie had 18 last night, or the night before. She was like 4 of 5 from 3-point range. There's some value there as a basketball player. But when you think Sophie Cunningham, do you think a basketball player, or do you think of looks and what she's trying to do? What's the first thing that pops to your mind as a guy?
Oh, look, but that's not all the way her fault. But she's not helping the case.
Right. She's utilizing that. She's putting that, not her game, at the forefront.
Yeah, which, I'll say that some of the things on here like aren't all that bad. Like if you're a woman and you're a hot woman, get your money, take advantage of it. But like
But Luke, it's going to
just
come with
focus.
it.
That's what I was gonna say. Like focus on putting out a good product first. Nobody is well, otherwise what you're trying to promote is all you're ever going to be known for because nobody cares about the product you guys are putting out. Like have a couple good seasons and then start trying to get sponsorships and stuff. Like there's people trying to get sponsorships, nobody even knows who it is. Nobody, not even the biggest sports fans in the world are like, who is that? I don't know. What team does she there's a did you see the ESPYs? Shane Gillis was like, do you know what I'm talking about?
I saw the clips. I don't watch that garbage. It's to me, that's all
Yeah.
garbage. But
Well,
I heard about a couple of the things.
He's he's a comedian or whatever, and his
Mhm.
friend was there with his wife, and he was like, I forget her name, but he said she's here, 4-time WNBA All-Star. And she's like a 5'4" lady, like it's his friend's wife, and everyone starts clapping, and he's like, I'm just joking, but I knew none of you knew who the WNBA players were, and like people barely laughed because they're like, shoot, you're not supposed to say that, but it's true, nobody knows.
Yeah,
So
and I've laid out the graphic in previous weeks, and it's all over my social about the attendance range over the last 10 years when it used to average about 65, 7,000. And there are some stadiums right now, they specifically made them play in smaller arenas. A couple of the arenas hold 5,500 max and 4,200 max. And again, for those people that say that I'm cruel, I was a sponsor for the WNBA in 03, 04, 05 range for the Detroit Pistons when they owned the Detroit Shock. And the way that it was sold to me as a sponsor was it was a filler basically for season ticket holders and for sponsors to be able to set up your wares, be able to sell. And then, as a sponsor of that level that I had, you were able to get season tickets. So it was something that they would market as, hey, you know what, if you can't come to the game, use them as giveaways for your clients. It gives them something to do. And that's how it was sold. And now they're trying to sell something different. The product may or may not be better than it was then. I don't know that you could say that necessarily. The Cheryl Swoops, the Lisa Leslies, all these types of players were playing at that time, and they were very, very good players. It's the marketing that has changed, but they're not marketing the game of basketball and the quality of play. They're marketing / the sexualization of the women. It's basically almost, I don't even know if this is the right word, but it's womanizing. And I think it's a horrible, horrible, horrible example for young girls and ladies or women out there. Triple H says this, and you've heard me say, I think I said it last week or the week before. I say this as a longtime former coach and a business owner. Women are smarter than men. And Triple H said this. He said in the back, he said it to The Rock. He said, they're just smarter than us, man. The way that they can perform, the things that they can do, the things that they can retain, it takes our guys longer to get there, and they're quicker. And I agree, and not from a wrestling standpoint, but from a business standpoint. Give me a man who's equal talent and a female who's equal talent. It's always going to be on merit. It doesn't matter what the gender is. But I'm going to take 3 extra looks at the female. And from a basketball perspective, I coached men, but in the camps, I coached gals, and I had some familiarity with it and some instruction. And it's like when I told a 15 or a 16-year-old girl something, it was like, I got it, coach. And then they'd go do it. Whereas the guy would go do it, and it's like, you maybe had to do it a second or a third time or a second or a third practice. The retention wasn't there. So why can't they go out and just focus on basketball? Do you think it's because there's not enough eyeballs to support a league of basketball from women, or something else?
I think they have a really hard time keeping the main thing. And that's just what you got to do. Like I've said this in the past, and it's like they want treatment like the NFL and the NBA, even the MLB, where people are getting sponsorships and they're known and they're making tons of money. But these leagues went through periods of time where people didn't make money. They weren't in the media. They weren't, divas. They weren't famous.
NBA was on tape delay when Magic and Bird came in.
Right. And they powered through it and they got to where they are now. You can't start a league with a terrible product and say, okay, I'm in that league, so sponsor me with all this different things, and then not even pay attention to the basketball side of things. It's a joke.
Well, Diana Taurasi, in her comments, doesn't believe the league is just starting. And she says, I was the greatest player in the world, and the janitor made more than me. That's her argument. That's what she's saying. And she had to go to a communist country to make real money and she made the majority of her money overseas. And why is that? Why do you go to Russia or the Middle East to play? Go ahead. Let me get your point. I think I know what your answer is going to be. Go ahead.
Money? What do you mean?
No, why does those places pay the money that they do?
Oh, I don't get
why does Saudi Arabia, Russia, Israel, Portugal, why is there so much money overseas to pay these players?
Why is it?
Because they don't have professional leagues other than their word is football. They don't have any of this type of stuff America has. So they're willing to pay more for American stars to come and play on their turf. Okay, so that's why she got all that money. You can't say, I have to go to a communist country, they're going to pay me all this money, and come back to America, and the janitor makes more. The Americans have a lot to choose from, and the demand isn't there for the product as such to pay you the kind of money that Russia or whoever it is you're playing for can pay you. That's been known.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
I think she sounded so foolish, and she's trying to help the case for the players to get paid more money. Understand that 6,000 people in an arena, it's old number, 6,000, 7,000 people in an arena doesn't pay you $5 million a year. And 10 people, 12 people on your roster, it doesn't do that. And then somebody said, well, we're not expecting to be paid like the men, which, speaking of Megan Rapinoe, she said equal, that when she was for the U.S. soccer team, we should be paid what the men are paid. No, the men, this is not a man and a woman thing. The men had the viewership, the eyeballs, the interest, the sponsorships, the demand. That's where the money came from. The female version had a nice run there with Hope Solo and Abby Womack and that group. Listen to me, like I know my soccer and stuff. And Megan Rapinoe, they had a moment there. But over the course of a year, people in America are not tuning into that on a mass scale. They aren't even on the men's either, to be totally honest with you. But there is more demand there.
Absolutely. We have a bunch of other sports too that you can watch pool or billiards on ESPN. Like if you're not going to put out a good competitive league with talented players that just focus on what they're doing, we're not watching. We have the NBA to watch. There's not.
All right. It was just. I just think it was a terrible statement. And Indiana's putting 17,000 people in the arena. That's Caitlin Clark, and then it's the sexualization of Sophie Cunningham. Following that, there's only one other team is close at 14. There's a couple 12s and a 10, and then the rest are in the single digits at a check 2 weeks ago. Until or unless it changes to where it's that 14 to 17,000 for every team and every arena. Boston minority owner spending $325 million to move the team from Connecticut to Boston. That's insanity, if you ask me. Obviously, he's got too much money that he doesn't know what to do with it, because I don't see that as a wise investment. But nevertheless, what'd you have, Luke?
I was gonna say they had a little bit of time recently that they should have taken advantage of, like that whole All-Star break thing. Because now that the NFL is going, I would love to see the ratings they probably dropped off a lot. All the people that were dipping their toe with the WNBA, like maybe, I'll give it a try. Football's back, the King's back.
Yeah.
You had a chance to kind of make people say,
46% down without Caitlin Clark. Now throw football in.
Right. So with what they did with that little span, the All-Star game, like people actually knew that was going on because there was nothing else going on, and they botched it. Like you had an opportunity to gain some fans, to win some business, and opportunity's gone. Football's back. Thankfully.
The argument I made on X the other day, and somebody laughed at me. They're like, how could you say that? So we all know that every All-Star game they're not going max out. They're not going 100%. We know that. But some, I don't know if it was Bill Simmons or whoever said it, but at least in basketball, you got the windmill dunks and stuff like that, and people would still tune in. When you watched, and I only saw clips because I just wouldn't spend my time, but I watched some clips, and they would get down in the lane and they would just stop. Like, should I shoot? Should I pass? And it was like they never played ball because they didn't know how to act. And it's like, just play. Okay. No one's telling you got to go 100% all out. No one's expecting that, but you made a mockery of the entire setup. And then you came back after and you said, but we don't get enough time off. You're the second shortest total league. One more time to give the stat. You're the second total shortest league next to football. All right. And you have the second most amount of time off for an All-Star break. You could have went out and done better. And you make a great point. That was their moment to shine, and they didn't.
Right.
All right. The last thing here before we close out, and it's been a week now. It's kind of settled in. The NFL and Roger Goodell had, even ESPN people, they had to speak up because the overwhelming vibe on social media was ESPN is going to ruin Red Zone and it's going to ruin the NFL. Do you have any more thoughts on that over the last week since this has all come out?
Honestly, no, I haven't followed it too closely. So you can go and I'll see what you got.
All right. And they're talking now that they come out and said this and said there might be a red zone for college. What do you think about the thoughts on that?
I think
that'd be interesting.
Theoretically, it sounds like a good idea, but
a lot more games. I don't know how you do that.
It is, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it works, but it would be cool if they somehow figured that out. Yeah, that'd be awesome. But
it's a great thought. It's a great thought in theory. No doubt about it. All right, folks, to close out here, let me just pop this back up. To become a member of what we're doing, not just on the show here that everybody has access, we have a ton of stuff going on in the background. Patreon.com/PB Sports. You can be a free member. There is a lot of things up there. There will continue to be things that go up on there. And that is absolutely 100% free to you to follow along. To get in the know with everything that we're doing, and there are multiple membership levels, the least of which starts at just $5 a month. It's a $60 a year entertainment investment. We're going to give you the best that we have behind the scenes of everything. And one thing I will tell you as a 35-year entrepreneur, you are going to matter. You are going to be involved. You are going to have, and I want to look right in the camera, you are going to have a voice. You're going to be able to shape the show. We want this to be about you. I don't, or Luke does not want to just get up here and talk all the time and make it about us. Look on this here. 2 weekly college or NFL picks from PB Picks. Look at my history. It's pretty strong. A social media boost, and we'll shout out your business, your athlete page. If you're an athlete and you need some marketability, 7 million impressions in the last 45, 50 days. I have to see an update, but it really getting some traction in that way. Lots of views. We will put you in that. So whether it's your athlete page, your business, or cause, once a month via a story or the platform post, a referral program that we have now where you can make some extra money. Tell your friends about it. Put it up on your social. They sign up and become a member. You get a one-time commission for that. And then the life of the time that they stay on as a member, you get residual commissions. You get a bump in membership level, free for a month after 5+ referrals. Access to our behind-the-scenes chat. It's not a public chat. It's an internal chat for members only, where Luke and I will comment and go back and forth with fellow members. and then a quarterly giveaway drawing, automatic entry into our member-only prize giveaways, which will be every 3 months. Be a founding member. Be a part. I have big plans for this. Luke has big plans for this. He's 2-time All-State football, basketball, top 15 in the history of the renowned high school he played, 7-time former championship coach in basketball. For me, we want you to be a part of it, though. We don't want to talk about us. We want to talk about you. And together, we're going to give what we think is the best possible product for the public to enjoy. So, Luke, thanks a million, buddy. We're sorry about all the technical difficulties. We were 20 minutes, 25 minutes behind. Feel embarrassed by that. Sign fell down. We're a mess. We'll get things
better.
We'll get things fixed up, I promise. Everybody have a great weekend, especially after something I learned this weekend. I say it every single week. Hug someone, hold someone, love someone. Life is short. Enjoy your Saturday and your Sunday. Take care of everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now. Luke, take care.
Yeah. Yes, sir.